Exciting new evidence suggests Planet 9, a massive elusive planet at the edge of our solar system, might actually exist. Astronomers have uncovered compelling data hinting at the gravitational influence of a hidden giant beyond Neptune. Could this be the long-sought explanation for strange orbital anomalies? I'm going to share with you the white papers. We'll get into it in a moment. Scientists are now diving deep into the data with the latest research papers revealing gravitational signatures that point towards the mysterious planet. Don't pack your bags for Planet 9 just yet. Reaching it could take an interstellar journey of epic proportions. However, with current technology, we might be able to reach Planet 9 in just a few years. The race is on to find it, but the distance remains shrouded in mystery. Are we on the verge of one of the greatest space discoveries ever? Or is Planet 9 a cosmic ghost? Is it a grapefruit-sized black hole? Well, stay tuned as astronomers continue the hunt for this massive world that could reshape our understanding of the solar system. I'm Rex Pear. Buckle up, Buttercup. Let's jump right in. Now, it's always good to be prepared, not scared. Look at today's opportunities, very abundant. Some people hide in the corner and complain. Other people just get out and do something about it. What are you doing about it? Are you prepared, not scared? You know, there's a lot of options, folks, and one thing you really want to look into, if you got a 401 or an IRA, is precious metals. Noble Gold Investments will help you convert your 401 or IRA into precious metals, and they'll even gift you, if you qualify, 10 ounces of solid silver. You choose a 10-ounce U.S. American flag solid silver bar, or you could go with 10 Trump rounds, solid silver, your choice, limited edition, 1-877-646-5347. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, tons of 5-star reviews. I personally trust Colin Plume and Noble Gold Investments. I've been working with them for years. I have friends and family that have converted their 401s through Noble Gold Investments. Give them a call. You'll thank me later. So let's get into this. Let's look at today's latest headlines. Here's the first paper, as you can see right here from phys.org, new evidence found for Planet 9. We're going to look at the white paper, generation of low inclination Neptune crossing TNOs by Planet 9. Then we're going to look at how long would it take to reach Planet 9 if we ever find it. Before we get into that, though, a lot of news on the freedom front. Brazil bans X, and users have to carve new digital homes and incomes as they lost their opportunity with X and Brazil. And you know what? The U.S. isn't far off. The U.S. is attempting to ban TikTok. How do you feel about that? Well, some people think it's because they love you so much. Let's take a look at this. Liberty Justice Center. In just 1 week, D.C. Court of Appeals will hear arguments in the lawsuit for the federal TikTok ban. September 16th, the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit will hear oral arguments in the combined legal challenges to the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act, a federal law that would effectively ban TikTok within the United States as of January 19th, 2025. Does anybody else think that this is a political move or a move for money? Because the hearing combines 3 legal challenges to the act, one filed by TikTok and its parent company, ByteDance Limited, one filed by a group of TikTok content creators, and one filed by the Liberty Justice Center on behalf of Base Politics Incorporated, a nonprofit organization that uses social media, including TikTok, to promote ideas related to free markets and individual liberty to a Gen Z audience. We'll keep you posted on that. But a small team of planetary scientists from the California Institute of Technology, University Côte d'Azur, and Southwest Research Institute reports possible new evidence of Planet 9. They've published their paper on the Arxiv preprint server, and it has been accepted for publication in the Astrophysical Journal Letters. We're going to get into that in a moment. Back in 2015, a pair of astronomers at Caltech found several objects bunched together beyond Neptune's orbit near the edge of the solar system. This bunching led them to the theory that it's due to a pull of gravity from an unknown planet that came to be called Planet 9. After they demoted Pluto, of course, because you couldn't call it Planet X. That's just going to scare people way too much. Since that time, researchers have found more evidence of the planet, all of it circumstantial. In the new paper, the research team reports what they describe as additional evidence supporting the existence of the planet. Let's go take a look at the paper right now. Generation of low inclination Neptune crossing TNOs by Planet 9. Okay, so let's take a look at this. The solar system's distant reaches exhibit a wealth of anomalous dynamical structure, hinting at the presence of a yet undetected massive trans-Neptunian body, Planet 9. Previous analysis have shown how orbital evolution induced by this object can explain the origins of a broad assortment of exotic orbits, ranging from those characterized by high perihelia to those with extreme inclinations. In this work, we shift the focus towards a more conventional class of TNOs and consider the observed census of long-period, nearly planar Neptune crossing objects as a hetero unexplored probe of the Planet 9 hypothesis. To this end, we carry out comprehensive n-body simulations that self-consistently model gravitational perturbations from all giant planets, the galactic tide, as well as passing stars, stemming from initial conditions that account for the primordial giant planet migration and sun's early evolution within a star cluster. Accounting for observational biases, our results reveal that the orbital architecture of this group of objects aligns closely with the predictions of the P9 inclusive model. Accordingly, this work introduces a new line of evidence supporting the existence of Planet 9 and further delineates a series of observational predictions poised for near-term resolution. They think they're going to be able to see it within a few years, folks. They actually are working on a new telescope right now with an incredible camera system, and they're predicting within the next 3 to 5 years, they will be able to film the elusive Planet 9. Now, they have predicted it's between 200 and 400 astronomical units away. So you would take 200 or 400 and times that by 93 million, give or take a few miles, and that is the estimated distance. They calculated how long it would take to get there with the Voyager 1 and with new technologies, so we'll get to that in a moment also. But I find this incredible, especially when you look at the work that they've been doing over the past almost 10 years, trying to pinpoint where this planet is. And if they found it, would they share it with the public if they knew that it was going to cause mass chaos in the near future? I don't know. I mean, that's pure speculation. It's always good to be prepared, not scared. It doesn't look like you need to bring in your tomato plants just yet, though. So the team does acknowledge that other forces could be at play that might explain the behavior that they simulated, but suggest it is far less likely. They also note that further evidence will become available as the Vera Rubin Observatory in Chile is set to begin operations sometime next year. It's going to be equipped, they note, to search in new ways for the planet in a rigorous assessment of its existence. That's phys.org, new evidence found for Planet 9. Now, if you go to space.com, let's take a quick look at this paper. How long would it take to reach Planet 9 if we ever find it? Some experts believe the solar system's hypothetical ninth planet could be just a few years away from being discovered. You know, that's right around the 2030 time frame. That's interesting. 2030. There's been a lot of speculation about the importance of 2030. What if Planet 9 becomes visible to the naked eye by 2030, or visible enough that if you've got a telescope and you know where to look, you can observe it? So you got to stay ahead of the curve. You got to stay ahead of the news. If you are a government or several governments that know about this incoming planet, how would you bring that information out to the public? Would you drop hints for 10 years? Maybe it's out there, maybe not. Would you change the name a bit because people used to be scared of Planet X, so now it's Planet 9, so now it's less scary for whatever reason? It's different. Once again, we're getting into the land of speculation and theory here. And it is quite fascinating when you look at the time frame, when you look at the technology, and you look at the amount of money being spent to discover new planets or stars that might be considered dark stars that you won't be able to capture with typical telescopes and most technology that people have at their house. You're going to need very expensive equipment, certain lenses and cameras and computers, and obviously maybe even satellite technology to capture some of these distant planets or distant stars in a different light spectrum. When we go to this article, it says some experts believe in just a few years, we could discover the elusive Planet 9. But if we do find it, how long would it take for us to send a spacecraft to the far-flung world? Planet 9 is the name given to the proposed planet, allegedly on the edge of our solar system, and it's between 5 and 10 times the mass of Earth, according to the calculations. It's on a highly elliptical orbit of the sun, and it's out of sync with the rest of the planets. Researchers suspect Planet 9 is out there because about a dozen objects beyond the orbit of Neptune move as if a large object is tugging them. And even though we have the data on these TNOs that are clustering together, we still don't have data on this massive planet. And I find that very bizarre. But regardless, some astronomers believe Planet 9 could be discovered within the next few years with the state-of-the-art Vera C. Rubin Observatory when it starts to survey the night sky in late 2025. Also, there's the Backyard Worlds Planet 9 Citizen Science Project, where there have been several candidates for a possible Planet 9 and more planetary objects. Quite fascinating. Then goes on to say, if Planet 9 is ever detected, NASA will want to send a probe and other space agencies to visit the distant world. First, they're going to have to get approval for such a mission, and money and technology. Oh yeah, those things happen. This will take at least a decade or more. Andreas Hein, a space systems engineer at the University of Luxembourg, told Live Science in an email. This is mostly because missions have to go through a lengthy and rigorous governmental selection process, he added. But this process could be sped up depending on how odd the world appears. In initial readings, Manosfi Lingam, a theoretical astrobiologist at the Florida Institute of Technology, told Live Science in an email that Planet 9 is anomalous in some respect. There could be more interest in expediting such a mission. Like, what if there's advanced civilizations on Planet 9 and it's a planet kind of like Earth, but much larger? That'd be pretty cool. It is also possible that a private space exploration company like SpaceX could launch missions sooner, potentially as soon as 5 years after discovery, because they are not hindered by such bureaucracy, Hines said. Now, if we do find Planet 9 and we launch a spacecraft to track it and to record it and see what's out there, this article says, once a probe is sent to Planet 9, the next question is, how long is it going to take to arrive? In 2022, Hein Lingam, part-time astronomer Adam Hibbard, attempted to answer this question in a theoretical paper that was posted in the preprint database of ArXiv. In this paper, which has not been peer-reviewed, the researchers estimated that it would likely take between 45 and 75 years for a spacecraft akin to NASA's Voyager probes to reach Planet 9. And these calculations were based on the assumption that Planet 9 is about 400 astronomical units from the sun, or 400 times farther away from the sun than the Earth. It's also 13 times further away from the sun than Neptune, the farthest known planet in the solar system. Well, Pluto is, but subsequent studies suggest that Planet 9's true average distance from the sun is actually about 500 astronomical units. And the most recent survey, which narrowed down the elusive world's potential hiding place, also hints that the planet could currently be more than 550 astronomical units away, near its farthest point from the sun. However, these developments don't dramatically alter the timeline laid out even in the 2022 paper, Lingam said. The team's estimates were conservative and seems tenable, he added. Now, if you push the boundaries of technology, because that's a long way away, I mean, 75 years, especially with how much spacecrafts and aeronautics systems, propulsion systems have advanced over the past, 47 years approximately? So, according to this article, Voyager 1, the most distant spacecraft from Earth that we know of, has been traveling through space for 47 years, or 46 years. It's actually, 46, 47 years, whatever. 163 astronomical units from Earth. As a result, Planet 9 probe would have to travel around 3 times faster than Voyager 1 to reach Planet 9 in the researchers' time frame. This seems unlikely, but it's possible, Ingham said. Probes traveling towards the outer solar system must be gravitationally slingshotted around the sun, planets, and their moons to propel them across the vast distances involved. Voyager 1's trajectory was carefully planned to allow it to fly closely past Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus, as well as Neptune, and some of their moons, respectively. To do so, Voyager 1 also has to be slingshotted around objects to slow it down and redirect it to where it needed to go. Planet 9 probe could go as direct as possible straight to the mysterious planet, allowing it to pick up more speed and travel much further in the same amount of time. Mike Brown, astronomer at Caltech, who co-proposed the Planet 9 hypothesis in 2016, originally estimated a probe could potentially get to Planet 9 in as few as 20 years using a similar method. However, it's difficult to see how a probe could get to Planet 9 this fast using current technology, Newman said. It might be possible to reach Planet 9 quicker if we could track and crack more advanced propulsion technologies like light cells, giant cells, catch sunlight, or lasers to accelerate spacecraft, Heinemann said. In the 2022 study, researchers suggested that a light cell could take as little as 7 years to reach Planet 9. It could take at least 20 years for light cells to become a reality, though, the team estimated. And it goes on to say, as propulsion systems advance further, it may also be possible to send people to Planet 9, but probably not anytime soon. I am confident that in the far future, humans will be able to visit Planet 9, potentially even as they make their way to other stars. Now, I wonder why this planet is so important in the whole scheme of things. And I'll tell you why. Because how many trans-Neptunian objects and Kuiper Belt objects that are about the size of a planet, some of them larger, it appears. There's all these different objects in the universe, and scientists and astronomers are focusing on a planet that they can't even see. That's pretty incredible if you think about it, right? As an example, in an article that I shared with you and a paper that I shared with you just a couple of weeks ago, astronomers observed this object approximately the size of a brown dwarf star moving at an estimated 1,000,000 miles an hour at hypervelocity, shooting out of the Milky Way. It's heading out of the Milky Way at a hypervelocity speed, and it is massive. Could you imagine something like that entering our solar system at 1,000,000 miles an hour? Wow, hypervelocity. I mean, that's crazy. That's far out. So now we're looking for an object that allegedly we don't see, but all of the characteristics are pointing to these trans-Neptunian objects clustering together being related to the gravitational pull of this massive, elusive Planet 9. And then you look at the politics behind the demoting of Pluto, when astronomers find Sedna that has this very far out elliptical orbit in 2003, a couple years later. I mean, it all seems to kind of fit the timeline in theory here. I mean, I'm speculating, I'm theorizing. "2030 is going to be pretty important." We've also got Apophis that is supposed to reach its closest point to Earth Friday the 13th, 2029. 99942, Apophis. Eerie name. They just updated the calculations saying that it is actually going to get closer than previously thought, but don't worry, it's not going to get that close. It's still going to be hundreds of thousands of miles away, allegedly. I mean, would they really tell us? I mean, let's look at the past record here. And I'm kind of skeptical, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But it does appear that this is like a soft disclosure for a rogue, massive planet. A lot of news, folks. A lot going on with the weather and the environment, the Earth's inner core, the seismic data suggesting that it's slowing down, There's a cycle within the core itself. There's like a blob within the core itself, according to the seismic data. Have they been there? No, but that's what the data is suggesting using technology that can actually travel to the core, as well as earthquakes and the data that the earthquakes present in pairs, different locations around the world, computational models, etc. The ancients talked about a binary star. And I want to share something with you also, though. Just because there's theory of this planet nine doesn't necessarily mean it's legit, and it doesn't mean that when you see photographs of what people say is planet X or planet nine, I have not seen a single photograph that has convinced me of planet nine or planet X. I have not seen a single piece of video footage. I've seen people share photos of reflections of a full moon and say that that's Nibiru or planet X, which is nonsense. I've seen people say that planet nine or planet X was a reflection off of a mirror or the lake or the ocean or some type of Photoshop. If that was true, astronomers from around the world, independent astronomers, amateurs like myself, would be able to capture that footage, and most of us would be uploading and sharing that footage with the world. It wouldn't be just a couple of elusive photographs from a webcam, which web cameras are cheap already, and they've got a plastic dome around them. And when the sunlight hits the plastic dome, it reflects this orb type thing, and people are like, dude, it's Nibiru, it's planet X. And then they'll change the photographs on it, and they'll change the coloring and the texture to try and make it look like it's a planet with craters. You could do that with a reflection of the sun in the plastic. It's very easy to do, folks. So don't get yourself wound up and all freaked out when somebody shows you a video or a photo of a reflection of the sun, or when they show you like the welding goggles. Like, look, you can see with the welding goggles, there's still two objects there. There's plenty of footage out there where people have debunked that, doing it themselves, showing how you can do it, how you can create Nibiru at your own leisure, how you can create planet X at will, or the blue Kachina or the red Kachina. So be careful when following these rabbit holes. And I'm just presenting the information to you here. I'm sharing the data. I'm not convinced. And on that note, I find it fascinating and exciting, and I still want to look into the data, but I'm not going to freak out and go, like hide in a bunker for however long because I'm afraid of Nibiru reaching perihelion, and like you'll know way before. Even if the thing's traveling 1,000,000 miles an hour, would know way before, and the whole world would know. It wouldn't just be a couple of photographs. I'm just saying. But if you want to believe that, that's totally cool. And if you want to get a little frustrated with me because I'm sharing with you how easy it is to replicate fake images and create fake images and videos and say that it's some type of planetary anomaly when it's not. It's very easy to do that. So try it yourself. Do it yourself. Go watch a couple of videos or tutorials on how easy it is to create a reflection and make it look like a planet. How easy it is for a webcam to capture the sun and the reflection of the sun, and the cheap webcam is bouncing off of that plastic dome, and it's creating what looks like this massive planetary body, but it's almost see-through. And then people make up stories about how they block certain parts of the atmosphere so you can't see it. Like, seriously? Come on. Just really, I love you. That's why I'm telling you this, because you could probably be a lot more productive and be doing much better in the, how do I put it? Uncovering stuff that's really important, or maybe working on ways to fix things. Like now we've got all these artificial intelligence programs working on ways to get rid of forever chemicals and come up with new medicines and antibiotics and stuff like that, new technologies for life extension. That's amazing. That's amazing. So be prepared, not scared. Be the change you want to see in the world, because it starts with you. And have a beautiful day. You're awesome. Deep thoughts, not down by the river at high elevation. Oh yeah, and also I read a couple comments in the video I did yesterday. And they're like, Rex, why are you talking like that, man? Nobody's going to take you serious, man. Like, relax. If you want to watch serious news where the guy's like, and in today's news, we had a blah, 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 all serious, like there's plenty of people you can watch that kind of news on TV. Just turn on the TV. It's all over the news. But if you want to be a little bit more entertained and have a little bit of fun and not just like fall for the fear doom porn, turn on Leak Project. Have some fun. Crack open a cold one.
Eat some organic popcorn. It's amazing. You love it.